President J.D. Vance accused Zelensky of not being grateful. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
It was a stunning scene in the Oval Office. President Trump and Vice President Vance arguing with Zelensky.
With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Long-term U.S. allies reacting. Leaders from Germany and Poland and the EU showing solidarity, saying that they stand with Ukraine. This is ABC News.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, WGBW.FM. From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The wind is something else today. Here's Civic Media meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Strong winds today will make it difficult to drive. Power outages are also possible across the state, and some trees could be at risk. It's because the soil is so saturated from the recent snowmelt that they can get uprooted and pushed over much easier. Waves will also be big on the Great Lakes. This will shift ice sheets and weaken areas on the bays and even Lake Winnebago. And ice shoves along shores are also possible and could create some damage.
U.S. senators are in week 8 of a 10-week floor period, but they're still listening to constituents and responding. Melissa Kay has more.
At a virtual town hall meeting, Senator Tammy Baldwin answered questions from Wisconsinites about what is happening in Washington, D.C.
We are hearing in the past couple of weeks from over 1,000 Wisconsinites a day.
One of those questions asked about cuts to Medicaid. Senator Baldwin explained that the House of Representatives took up a budget that contemplates $4.5 trillion of tax cuts that disproportionately benefit the top 5% and even more disproportionately benefiting the top 1%. Committees have been instructed to find cuts to the programs they oversee. One of the committees that oversees Medicaid has been instructed to cut nearly $1 trillion of spending.
We know that Medicaid is the target.
72 million Americans rely on Medicaid for their health care. This includes almost a third of all children in the country and over 7 million seniors. For Civic Media News, I'm Melissa Kay.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Bucks with a win at home. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Milwaukee Bucks with a 121-112 win over the Denver Nuggets. Giannis led with 28 points. Center Brook Lopez added 22.
It was big. That was a very big game for us, a great win. It took everyone, and always the crowd always picks us up.
Although the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, scored 32 points, Bucks head coach Doc Rivers praised Lopez for keeping up with the Joker.
I thought Brook was fantastic. We matched his minutes exactly with Jokic, which we don't do a lot. The guy's, that Jokic, he's really good. He's just really good. I mean, he made the shots he makes. They look like there's no way they can go in. And his passing is something to marvel. It just is.
College hoops, UWM with a win over Oakland at the Panther Arena, 71-66. Marquette is at Georgetown, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Breezy tonight and partly cloudy, colder, low teens. Sunny for the weekend, highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Mild to start next week with a chance of showers. Highs well into the 40s Monday, Tuesday. It's 39 right now.
Why Boot Barn for your business? Because nothing is more important than your workers' safety and your peace of mind. With a commercial account at Boot Barn, you get a customized program specific to your business. The largest assortment of work boots and workwear for every industry. The convenience of having a one-source nationwide supplier and nationwide customization. You need safety and compliance. We have your back. Commercial accounts at Boot Barn Work.
The Todd Alba Show.
Think about how many people in our communities, our friends, our families, our neighbors, our postal workers, carriers, people that work at our Veterans Affairs hospitals, USDA. Here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump's lieutenant, thinks of all the people I just mentioned.
Federal employees do not deserve their jobs.
That's what Donald Trump and MAGA believe if you are a federal worker.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
This weekend, we asked the question, where is the GOP? And we ask it to former RNC Chairman Michael Steele.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker, Saturdays at 2. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy whose house has an actual wiggle room, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light. Good evening, Wisconsin. Great to have you with me on this Friday night as we say goodbye to yet another week here in February. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great day. And having said all that, I hope we can help you relax a little bit and escape as we charge into Friday night on Nightlight. A Friday night edition. Conrad Krieger is riding shotgun as usual. What is that baseball hat you have on there, buddy?
Oh, it's a Milwaukee Brewers hat.
Like a throwback?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a trucker hat.
Oh, I love it. I like a good trucker hat. How you doing tonight?
You know, it's the last day of February.
Indeed.
It's
and
the 28th, so that means tomorrow is rent for me. So that sucks. I don't have 3 extra days like I did last month, but I'll survive.
Well, you could do a lot worse. I think March 1st is great. I know March 21st is like the first day of spring, but March 1st kind of feels like the first day of spring just because I feel like in March you have a chance for better weather.
Yeah.
Even though March can really suck too, weather-wise, but you never know what can happen. Hey, we got a great show tonight, folks, here at Nightlight. We have 3 guests. All incredibly interesting people, and I'm very excited to have all of them on the show. At 6:35, joining me tonight will be James P. Connolly. James is a stand-up comedian based in California. He will be here. We first were made aware of James about 2 weeks ago. Our pal Tim Cody was on the show. He's the president of the Northeast Wisconsin Fox Valley Veterans Council, and told us that James is going to host the Veterans Ball, which is coming up March 7th. So James is going to fly in and do that. He's a former Marine, and he's now a stand-up comedian. We'll hear a little bit of his comedy in a few minutes. Very funny guy. We'll have James here at 6:35 to talk to him a little bit about his career as a comedian and what he expects here in the Fox Valley and Green Bay when he hosts the, I think it's called the Prohibition Ball, or that's the theme this year.
Yep.
So they're doing a whole prohibition theme. It sounds like a lot of fun. And we'll talk to James about that at 6:35. Then our pal Anders Lindwall will be here. He's the director of the film Green and Gold. And I just reached out to him yesterday. I said, I would love to have you on the show just to talk about where you're at with things. Like the film, I think it keeps getting extended in theaters, which is always a good sign. It means it's making some money. And we'll talk to him about where he's at, because we had him on, what was it, Conrad, like 5 or 6 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, around the start of January.
Right. Right before the film came out. So it'll be fun to talk to him and get his perspective on where things are at now. And I'm sure he's excited to talk about that. So we'll talk to Anders at 7:05. And then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Not only is it Friday, which makes it a great night on its own, it's also a bar band Friday night with our pal, Max Inc. host, Terry Barr. She will be here. She's bringing music from 2 artists tonight, and they are both really good. She sent us 4 songs. We had to pick one from each because of the time allotment we have. We probably should have given ourselves a little more time tonight because it would have been fun to play both songs from each artist. Robert J. will be featured tonight, and Laura Sawasco. I think I'm saying that right. We'll have to talk to Terry about the proper pronunciation. But Terry will be here at 7:35 for Bar Band Friday night. Great artists who are both going to be on Max Inc. Radio tomorrow night from 6 to midnight on the network, on the Civic Media Radio Network. So lots of great guests tonight, lots of fun stuff, maybe some prizes. We don't have anything planned, but you never know. We could end up giving prizes away. It could happen. So it's good that you're here. Let's get to our question of the night. It's a good one.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
Do you read the terms and conditions before you click the yes, I accept box? This happened to me yesterday. I do online banking. And just to log in and access my account, I had to read like 17 pages. And it was a tiny little change they wanted to make. So I did glance at it, but I have to be honest. I rarely read those because sometimes the documents are like 30 pages. So that's our question of the night. You could be signing your life away. You have no idea. Although I think a class action lawsuit would be forthcoming if they screwed over too many people. But they do want you to read terms and conditions and click the box before you can access your account or a new thing with your Spectrum. It could be anything. It's not just banking. You get a cell phone or you get a cell phone plan. You have to read everything. And I'm always worried. I always have in the back of my mind that at the very bottom on the 35th page, it says, and if you click this box, we get all your money. That's my big fear. I don't think they can get away with that. But I think we all have our fears if we don't. So sometimes what I'll do too, folks, is I'll just scroll. So if they're tracking, it makes it look like I read it. So they know not to mess with me. But I don't think they're that scared. So that's our question of the night. Do you read terms and conditions before you click the box? I would imagine most people don't. It's way too much to read. Just yesterday, a small issue with my online banking, just to sign into my account. It was like, I think it was 12 pages. It was a 3-page document, then a 9-page document. And they wanted me to read the whole thing. And I wasn't going to do that. What do you do, Con? Do you read that stuff?
I mean, maybe if I think it's important, but
well, what a good citizen you are.
the one that ticks me off is that you have to scroll to click the box.
Well, yeah.
You can't just click the box.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Exactly.
You have to scroll, and then it's like 40 pages, and you just have to keep scrolling until you get to the bottom.
And I'm sure they do that for legal purposes to cover their butts.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't, I'll glance at it. Like if I think it's something they can screw me over with, I'll give it extra attention. But no way do I read every single document. It's impossible. And the print is tiny. It's like they don't want you to read it. So that's our question tonight, folks. Let us know. Do you read terms and conditions before you proceed and click the box? Like AT&T or Verizon or USAA Banking or Spectrum. Anytime they update something, you have to sign off on it. Do you read those terms and conditions? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can also get a hold of us on the Civic Media app, which is very easy to use. If you don't have it, you should. You can take it with you and take all your Civic Media hosts with you right in your pocket. Conrad, how can people watch the radio tonight if they so choose?
Yeah, so if you want to watch the radio live, you can go to Facebook, Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, WISS or WGBW. On YouTube, it's Civic Media or WGBW. And on Twitter, it is WGBW or Civic Media.
Get a hold of us any way you can, folks, but get a hold of us. And give us a like or a follow if you are so inclined and feeling generous. It's always nice to have a little social media love. This was a big blackout today. There was a big protest nationwide. People wanted to... or they were encouraging every American not to shop or spend money today. And I went along with it. I didn't spend a dime. And I thought, well, this can't hurt if I don't spend money. It helps me. I got gas last night before I went home. So I wonder have you seen those social media posts?
I didn't.
Yeah, you're not supposed to spend money. And I don't think you were supposed to post on any social media platform, which is tough. That's tougher to me than not spending money. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, because I know a lot of people were really passionate about it on Facebook and X and Blue Sky, but we'll see what the results were. Kind of an interesting thing. I like a good old-fashioned protest. We've got such a fun show. I don't even know where to start here. So do you read terms and conditions before you check the box? You have to, really. But do you read them? I know you check the box, but do you read them? That's our question of the night. Phone lines are open, folks, right? We got the phones situated, right, Conrad?
Yeah.
855-752-4842. We got a text. I love this. Brian from Milwaukee has texted us the last couple nights in the middle of the night. He listens from 4 to 6 a.m. I think he said he's a truck driver, unless I'm confusing him with someone else. But he said his favorite Gene Hackman film was The Poseidon Adventure. So, and then this is funny. Rob Thomas, who was on the show last night talking about Gene Hackman's death. When I said The Poseidon Adventure, you remember that? I was trying to describe to Rob that Gene Hackman was holding on to that huge steel wheel and trying to turn it so everybody could get out. The comedian that opened for Patton Oswalt last night talked about that scene. A half an hour after Rob was on the show. And he texted me later. He's like, this is crazy.
That's awesome.
So, I got a kick out of that. But more crazy circumstances surrounding his death. They're thinking that he and his wife and his dog were found. They think they might have been dead for as many as 10 days.
Wow.
He had a pacemaker, and it hadn't made any activity, I don't think, since February 17th. So there were no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning like people initially might have thought. So there is suspicion. And I don't know what could possibly have happened or why you would, like, if there's foul play involved, a 95-year-old guy and his 70-year-old wife and their dog, I don't get it. So maybe something is a foul here. We'll find out. I hope we do. But that was surprising. I thought they would just find out that it was some kind of gas leak or something, and that would be that, but apparently not. Now, I want to share with everybody something too. I went to watch French Connection last night, yesterday afternoon, actually, just to kind of see some Gene Hackman before I went into the studio yesterday, into the show. And I found Cinema Box. And I love this. It's an app, and it was free. Like, they wanted to charge me for French Connection on all the other apps, Amazon, Apple TV, whatever. It was free on Cinema Box, and I got like 35 minutes in, no commercials. So check out that app if you're looking for a new app where you don't have to sit through those annoying commercials. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, folks. We got Shelley Long. I got some Shelley Long talk. You can't miss that. We'll read your text, and then we're going to hear a little bit from our first guest tonight, James P. Connolly. We'll hear a little sampling of his stand-up. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
98
Q Country. Matt and Air on air.
A lot of federal employees got this fork in the road letter. You can stay, but you're not really guaranteed anything. Luann's husband is a Vietnam veteran.
I wrote a letter to President Musk. My husband put his life on the line for our country.
Wow.
You are putting my husband's life on the line right now by cutting all those programs that are keeping him alive at the VA. Please call your legislators and tell them to stand up. This is not what America is.
Matt and Air on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, civicmedia.us.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local.
Welcome back. Do you read terms and conditions before you click the box, or do you just click the box and get on with your day? That is tonight's question. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. That is our question of the night. And Jameson from Pennsylvania checks in. Where is Pennsylvania? Jameson is in the 814. I think that's outside of Philly, but I'm not sure. Jameson says, I'll say this. They don't want you to read them because it's astonishing what we sign away. But I never do. For jobs, rentals, and normal stuff, I do, but never all the other garbage. That's kind of how I feel, too. Yeah, if you're going to sign a contract for a job or something like that, I'm with you, Jameson. He says, I either want it or need it, insurance, phone, whatever. So I sign away my privacy, data, and likely a kidney. Joke is on them. I drank too much when I was younger. Well, good for you. That's a nice middle finger, Jameson. Way to get back at them. Thank you for the text. We have a caller, Conrad?
Yeah, it's Brian from Milwaukee.
Brian from Milwaukee, our middle of the night listener who likes the Poseidon Adventure. Brian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? And no, I'm not a truck driver. That text probably just went through late because I sent it through nearing like the maybe last half an hour of the show. So
okay, that's all right. Either way,
but,
it's good to hear from you at those crazy hours. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys? Great show as always. I love listening to you.
Thank you, sir.
Unwind. But yeah, to answer the question, I agree with you guys, and that was completely what I was thinking. Was it depends on what I'm signing or reading. You know,
right.
If it's like cookies for on a web page or something like that, fine. You know, you have to click them. But it depends on if it's like something financial or important, then I'm definitely going to read them. You know, or for a job.
Totally.
So it really just depends what it is that I'm just clicking or signing away. You know.
That's exactly what Jameson said, and I'm with you. If it's crazy important
right.
or something that could cost you a lot of money,
read the lines, right?
Exactly. And if someone screws me over, I go to a different cell phone company or I cancel Spectrum, whatever. That's just the consequences. But I can't read 50 pages worth of documents. You know, That's great. Well, hey, whenever you listen to us, buddy, it's great to have you. Whether it's from 6 to 8 or 4 to 6. Thanks for listening and thanks for the call.
Not a problem. Thanks.
All right. Have a great night, Brian. That's Brian from Milwaukee. He is not a trucker. Let's make that painfully clear, Conrad. Never let me refer. I don't know who I was thinking of. We got some text after hours, and it said trucker, unless that was the last name. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we did get a text from Bud in Janesville at 4:23 a.m.
Oh, maybe that's what I was. Is Bud a truck driver?
He might be. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this truck driver who's texting us at crazy hours. So please identify yourself and we will give you some kudos. James P. Connolly is our guest at 6:35. He will be here shortly, but let's hear a little bit of his comedy. I thought this was really funny. This is from a dry bar comedy special he did. He's hosting the Northeast Wisconsin Veterans Prohibition Ball on March 7th, and he'll be here at 6:35. Let's hear some James Connolly.
Started murmuring, but hey, I think we need to get guns. Now, I know this is the United States of America, right? We have the Second Amendment. Everybody has the right to bear arms, right? Second Amendment, everybody has the right to bear arms. But it really depends on what state you live in, how that happens, right? Because in California, we have the home invasion law. Somebody breaks into your house, you can legally shoot them. In Texas, it's called the home invitation law. You can actually invite people over to your house just to shoot them, but that's Texas. I think it's called Second Amendment Plus is what they have there now. But here's my theory on home defense. If you are a gun owner and you know how to use the gun, thank you. Thank you. The problem is I have male friends who buy weapons. They've never touched the gun before in their life. They've never fired it. But they believe in the middle of the night that gun is going to magically transform them into the Call of Duty legend they were born to be. Do you really believe when the moment of truth strikes, you're going to stagger out of bed in your tighty-whities, grab a weapon you've never fired before, shoot down the hallway, calm, cool, and collected with your perfect movie soundbite and go, shh, buenos noches, cupcake. I don't own a gun. If somebody breaks into my house and I hear, that's my spine and sphincter saying goodbye to each other. Now, for the record, I'm not anti-gun. I'm not anti-gun. I'm just pro-baseball bat. That's how I do it. Yes! Where are my baseball bat defenders of freedom out there? Absolutely! The baseball bat could be the perfect home defenseman because guess what? Any idiot in this room can swing a baseball bat because you don't have to be baseball good to defend your home, do you? No, you do not. You just have to be piñata good is all you have to be. As a matter of fact, the bigger spaz you are, the deadlier you appear.
How about that laugh of that woman? I didn't catch that when I cut the clip or when I found the clip. I was like, it's very painfully obvious now, though.
I noticed it instantly. I was like, this is too good not to.
I think it's because I was watching him on the video. I didn't notice the laugh, but wow, that is something. All right. So before we go to the news, I want to do this. I'm going to give my little Oscar predictions here. I still have 2 films to watch. I'm going to try to muscle through The Brutalist tonight. I don't know that I'm going to be able to see I'm Still Here. I may have to drive to Green Bay tomorrow and catch it in a theater or something, but I'm going to say Best Picture, Conclave. I'm going to stick with what I've read, the statistic that says in the last 30 years, the film that has won the Best Cast Ensemble has won the Best Picture. That's during the SAG Awards, has won Best Picture during the Oscars 26 out of 30 years. So if that holds true, Conclave will win. That's all I'm basing it on. I liked the movie. I thought Conclave was good, and I think it has everything Academy voters kind of want. A great cast, pretty good script, big twist at the end. So I'm going to say Conclave. I'm going to say Demi Moore is going to win Best Actress for The Substance, which I absolutely hated and didn't particularly. I've seen Demi Moore in stuff where she was better than in that film, but she just seems to be the odds-on favorite. And I'm going to say Timothée Chalamet will win Best Actor. I think he would be the youngest actor ever. Didn't I just say that the other night? Were we talking with someone? Rob Thomas, maybe?
Yeah.
He would be the youngest actor ever to win the Best Actor.
Is he past 25 now, or I'll have to look his age.
Like, I thought he was 30? Like 30. I might be wrong.
Well,
anyway, I think. Go ahead.
I said I might be the youngest, so that's something to look forward to.
You would be the youngest Best Actor winner for sure. So there you go. Timothée Chalamet, Demi Moore, and Conclave. I will give you supporting actors and directors wins throughout the show, so don't go away. James P. Connolly, coming up next after the news. We're going to talk some comedy. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Wisconsin State Assembly this week held a hearing on a Republican bill that would require sheriffs to assist in federal immigration enforcement efforts. The bill would require sheriff's office personnel to ask for proof of citizenship or legal status from any individual arrested on a felony-level charge and report unverifiable statuses to federal immigration officials. It also threatens to cut state aid to offices that do not adhere to the requirements. Governor Tony Evers has already said he will not sign the legislation if it advances to his desk. Meanwhile, a roundtable discussion in Green Bay yesterday brought forward fears from the immigrant community. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul.
A lot of the fear we have heard, that we heard about today, relates not to specific actions that have been taken, but to rhetoric that's been out there. So discussions about raids at schools or raids at churches.
Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich said at a press conference following the discussion that while immigration enforcement is focusing on dangerous criminals in the Green Bay area, immigrants are welcomed and needed in the city. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin and some of her colleagues are demanding answers from the Social Security Administration over how much access Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency actually has. Senator Baldwin has expressed serious concerns over access to personally identifiable information and an apparent disregard for privacy laws, regulations, and procedures. The group is seeking actions on how much access DOJ has, how they're using the information, and how the agency is protecting residents from having their data used improperly. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The legendary Gene Hackman has passed away at the age of 95. If you haven't already heard, Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, a classically trained pianist, and the couple's dog were found in their New Mexico home. Authorities say they had been dead for a while. Hackman was the star of films like The French Connection, The Poseidon Adventure, Mississippi Burning, The Conversation, and Hoosiers. The late great Hackman moved to Pasadena, California in 1952 after he got out of the Marines and met Dustin Hoffman at the Pasadena Playhouse, where both were voted least likely to succeed. Seems like a pretty cruel award to give to another adult. Despite not having leading man looks, Hackman says he never cared about that and just wanted to act in any capacity. Hackman retired from acting in 2004 and moved to New Mexico, where he became involved in the arts community and wrote books. Gene Hackman is quite often referred to as the greatest American actor. He won Oscars for his role in The French Connection and Unforgiven. Gene Hackman was 95. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Breezy tonight and partly cloudy, colder, low teens. Sunny for the weekend, highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Mild to start next week with a chance of showers. Highs well into the 40s Monday, Tuesday. Currently it's 37.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
About half of us will experience a mental health concern at some point.
Welcome back. Are we back? We're back, right? All I saw was like this graphic. I thought you took a powder. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Be nice if you could acknowledge that. You can talk, Conrad. He's giving me a thumbs up. So polite. Our question of the night, ladies and gentlemen, is do you read terms and conditions before you check the box, or do you just check the box? Most of the time, I just check the box. Unless, like some of our texters have said, it's something really important or like a home loan or a new car or a job or something like that, then you read the fine print. But let me know if that is something you guys do or if you just gloss over it and check the box and go to it. Director Anders Lindwall is here at 7:05, the director of Green and Gold. We will discuss the success of his film and how he feels about it. He was on the show a few weeks ago before the film came out, and we'll catch up with him in about a half an hour. And then it is a bar band Friday night. Terry Barr will be here, co-host of Max Inc. Radio. She will be bringing new music and sparkling conversation like she does every week here on Nightlight. Right now, it is my pleasure to welcome to the show for the first time a comedian who is hosting a very cool event here in Northeast Wisconsin next week, and we will talk to him about that and his career and all things cool. James P. Connolly joins us. Hi, James.
Hey, how's it going, Pete? I have slightly intimidated because you have an upcoming guest who's going to engage in sparkling conversation. I don't know if I can offer that to you right now, so I feel
Listen, I've been prepared. I'm not expecting that out of you.
Okay,
but I've seen your act, and it's great. So I think you'll dazzle us one way or the other. For sure. It's great to meet you, buddy. Did James freeze?
Messing down the road. I appreciate that.
Oh, there you go. We got you back. I think you just froze just temporarily there, James. It's great to have you.
Thanks, man. I'm in a hotel, so I am subject to the Wi-Fi gods of the modern quality of hotel Wi-Fi. So if I disappear, it is nothing personal, and I'm happy to be on the show.
That's good to know. We'll just keep your phone number handy in case, but it's great to have you. And before we jump in,
till God,
Conrad, do we have James?
I think we should have.
I hear you now. I do hear you now. This is.
Oh, you got us now. All right, we'll keep trying. This is a really cool event you're coming to Wisconsin for, James, and welcome in advance. It'll be great to have you. I had Tim Cody on, the president of the Northeast Wisconsin Veterans Council. Great guy. He referred us to you because you're hosting this amazing event they have coming up. Before we get to that, tell me a little bit about how you got started in stand-up. Give us a little background. Uh-oh. James wasn't kidding when he said there'd be no sparkling conversation because we can't hear him, but I'm sure what he's saying is awesome. Let's get James' number, Conrad, and we'll see if we can do this over the phone. And because I really want to hear what he's saying.
Sounds good.
All right, fantastic. James, we're going to call you. Or we could just keep doing this like it's an improv game or something. If you're watching on the stream, that's the exchange you saw. James P. Connolly is with us. We'll get James on the phone so we can actually hear him. He's doing a really cool event for the Northeast Wisconsin veterans March 7th. So that will be fun, and it'll be exciting to have James here in Wisconsin. He is coming to us from California at the moment, and we will get all these little issues ironed out and get him on the phone. Conrad, let us know when we have him. So our question of the night, folks, is do you read terms and conditions before you sign your life away, before you check the box? Do you read terms and conditions? I do for some stuff. I don't always. If I don't think it's anything that important, I won't read it because sometimes it's like 30 pages. And sometimes I don't think I would understand it anyway. So I say mostly I do not. Conrad said he does not, but what do you say? There are no wrong answers, folks. There are only your answers. You can also text us on the stream or over the app. It's very easy to use. Just click the little icon. So I gave my Oscar picks. You guys are welcome to share. If you have Oscar picks or you'd like to make a pick or make some type of statement about the Oscars that you think you might see, let me know. I think Conclave is going to bring home Best Picture. And I'm basing that on the fact that I've seen 8 of the films. I've got 2 movies to watch before Sunday. But I think Conclave just has that, like, speaking of checking boxes, check every box Oscar feel. So I'm going to say Conclave for Best Picture, and I picked Demi Moore for Best Actress, only because there's a huge buzz. I didn't really like the substance. Demi Moore's a good actress. She worthy of an Oscar? Sure. I didn't really see it in this movie. But that does happen sometimes. People just, there's hype, people become the favorite, and it happens. So I'm going to predict Demi Moore will win the Oscar for Best Actress. And then I'm going to say I predicted that Timothy Chalamet will win the Best Actor Oscar for A Complete Unknown, which I did enjoy. And he was very good. And I don't know that he was better than any of the other nominees necessarily, but he did learn how to play the guitar and he learned how to sing, and it took him 5 years to prepare for the role. So I think he's going to win Best Actor. Share your picks with me if you want. 855-752-4842. I will give my Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Supporting Actor predictions throughout the show, and Best Director. Do we have James back?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
we do.
awesome. James, how you doing? You there?
Am I here? You guys tell me. I feel badly.
Oh, don't feel bad. This happens. You know what? It happens frequently when people are in hotels. You just never know what you're going to get. So I appreciate you sticking with us. Thanks so much.
Oh, hey, not a problem. And I think probably the biggest problem is this clearly reflects the quality of hotel that I stay when I travel on the road. So I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Hard to believe the Motel 6 doesn't have a better wireless apparatus.
You're gonna say, so yeah, my career is at it's at the 3-bar Wi-Fi level. I haven't hit the 4-bar Wi-Fi career plateau. So maybe someday I'll come back and I will call you with that 4-star Hilton Garden Inn quality audio, Pete. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope you get to do that for you. We don't need that. We can hear you fine. And it's just great to have you on the show. And I remember when I did stand up in the 90s, it was like, you just kind of kept your fingers crossed when you went to a club for the first time. And it's like, well, it's either going to be a Radisson or a crap hole or something in between. You just never know what you're going to get. But I hope they're taking care of you when you come to Northeast Wisconsin to do this Veterans Ball you're hosting on March 7th.
I am being taken care of. A wonderful organization, Fox Valley Veterans Council. They've been nothing so disciplined and so detailed because they're veterans that talking to them and planning, it's like the opposite of comedy. Pete, it's like in the world of comedy, it's chaos and passive-aggressive behavior and just things that don't work. And these guys are everything is locked in. So I am looking forward. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Wisconsin in March, early March, it's a throw of the die. I'm a California kid, so
right.
I have experienced it once before. I came out, did a show in the Dells in the wintertime.
Oh.
And as far as I was concerned, it was just Wisconsin's way of giving me a glimpse of what the earth will look like when it can no longer sustain life.
Well, I'm glad we could help you out with that.
I don't fear the end times anymore because of Wisconsin. Thank you.
So where are you in California? Are you in L.A.?
I was in LA for 25 years. Matter of fact, we have a mutual friend. Rob Brackenridge is a good buddy of mine.
Oh, yeah. Rob's great.
I met him out in LA.
Yeah, I met Rob. Rob lives here now, as you probably know, but
Right.
I live in the Marinette area, originally from Chicago, but I left Chicago to go to LA and lived out there for about 14 years. I met Rob in LA of all places. And there are a few guys like that who I never met in Wisconsin or Chicago, but I made friends with them in LA. So it's crazy that that's what it takes, but he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. And so, yeah, I've been in LA for 25 years. I just relocated to beautiful North County, San Diego. So,
nice.
I am, but I'm calling you here from San Luis Obispo. I'm at the San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival. So just having a good time here in Central California.
Very nice. And you picked the one area in America that has better weather than LA. So congrats on that as well. So
we killed it down there.
Yeah. What, James, can you give us some background? Like, how did you get started in comedy?
So I have a very unique origin story. I used to be in the Marine Corps before I did stand-up comedy. And
Right.
I was actually in Desert Storm. And my
Wow.
colonel wanted to have like a roast-style dinner because we had a lot of new reserve officers being attached to it. So he wanted to kind of roast everybody to form some unit integrity. So he called me in, and I was probably known as being as close to a smart aleck as you can be and still maintain dignity in a Marine Corps uniform. And so they wanted me to write jokes. So I was basically given an order by my commanding officer to write jokes and make him funny in 48 hours. So I had
Wow.
to turn in the jokes, and I turned them in. And then there was a knock on my door, and it was my boss telling me that the colonel needed to see me. And I thought, oh, geez, I crossed the line. This is it. I'm dead. And I go in there, and he asked me like tips, like how did you see this line being delivered? So
Oh my gosh.
I just Yeah, so I showed him. He did great. He killed. And so I said, all right, if I survive this, I'm going to start stand-up comedy. So I think I'm the only person that was given a lawful command to be funny.
That's great. I think you're going to say he made you like a 2-star general or something because it went over so well, but that's fantastic that you were.
No. No, look where I ended up. I ended up at a mid-level quality hotel with marginal Wi-Fi. So no, not that good, Pete, but almost.
All right. Well, thank you for your service, by the way. And also, I want to ask you, it must be great having that background, military service background, the Marine Corps, to do comedy in front of other veterans. How much of your act, James, do you tailor to a crowd like the one you're going to have on March 7th, other veterans?
You know, it is really great to perform in front of veterans or military crowds. I've done a lot of shows overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's just a real pleasure to get out and do that. I don't tailor it that much. It's just more of a sense of knowing. You just kind of know what they've done and you know what they've been through. And it's really fun to get out and give back when I can and however I can to a military and veteran organization, particularly like, the Fox Valley Veterans Council. They're just doing such good work helping people with the emergency fund and veterans that need like realistic now life needs, car payments and mortgages and housing and dental and things like that. So that's, for me, it's just an honor to jump up and be ridiculous and just remind everybody that their taxpayers' dollars were wasted on me. But that's okay. I'm here to get back.
James P. Connolly is my guest. He is a stand-up comedian and former Marine who is hosting the Fox Valley Veterans Prohibition Ball March 7th. You probably don't have this information, James, but do you know if there are still tickets available?
No, Pete, I absolutely have that information in front of me. There
well
are
done.
Tickets available. I think they have standard tickets and they have VIP tickets. And I believe there's like 12 standard tickets and like 23 VIP tickets left. And with the VIP tickets, and this is the part that kills me, you get early entry, you get top shelf beverages, food in the Vault Speakeasy bar with me before the show. So part of the value of the ticket is that you get to spend time with me. And my promise is if you spend extra money for this good cause, whatever the difference in ticket price between standard and VIP, I will give you at least $1 worth of my time above and beyond the ticket price. So it will be almost like making money if you do the math. So that's my commitment to you. And so for the extra $10, I'm going to give you $11 worth of me.
Well, that's very generous. I appreciate that, as I'm sure all the that almost makes me wish I were a veteran, James. I'm not going to lie.
Pete, if you were willing to subject yourself to the type of torture that military people go through to spend time with me, I'm questioning whether or not you should be serving our country. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a lot to give.
I appreciate that. We have to do a very quick break. I just want to say we heard some of your stand-up in the second segment. We just kind of teased your appearance, and the joke you do about guns is hilarious, but I love a joke you also did before that where you were talking about buying underwear that had the thing in the front, but with oh, I don't even know how to say that, but you called it like a fire code violation.
Fire code violation. Yeah, it was. That's a true story. That's actually a true story.
Oh God, that's a gorgeous joke. All right, James P. Connolly is here. He's a comedian and former Marine. He's going to be hosting here in Northeast Wisconsin, March 7th, the Fox Valley Veterans Prohibition Ball. We'll have more with James in just a minute after this very short break. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
To the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. If you're headed to vote in New Hampshire's traditional March town meetings and need to register, bring proof of citizenship documents with you or you won't be able to vote. 20 other states have similar legislation pending. New Hampshire's HB 1569 eliminated sworn citizenship affidavits, subject to fines or imprisonment for lying, as evidence of citizenship. It now accepts only a birth certificate, U.S. passport, or naturalization papers. There is no evidence of any widespread non-citizen voting in the state, and the law was immediately challenged in federal district court as unconstitutional and an unreasonable burden. President Donald Trump's recent unfounded claims of widespread non-citizen voting generated a rush to tighten proof of citizenship legislation around the country. Voting Rights Lab is tracking 35 proof of citizenship bills in 20 states, many based on model legislation pushed by former Trump election lawyer Cleta Mitchell and her Only Citizens Vote coalition. Just this month, proof of citizenship bills were advanced in Wyoming and Missouri. 18 other states are considering bills adding proof of citizenship requirements, and the pending SAVE Act in Congress would require it for federal elections. A 2024 study by the Brennan Center for Justice found 9% of Americans don't have ready access to their citizenship documents. We have links to the Voting Rights Lab tracker and more at AmericanDemocracyMinute.org. I'm Brian Beal.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Folks, I'm talking with Jill Rosenthal. Trump is proposing to make incredibly drastic cuts to the NIH.
The National Institutes of Health, the state receives almost $600 million. That pays for over 7,000 jobs in Wisconsin and accounted for almost $1.5 billion in economic activity in 1 year.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2.
I get so lost sometimes.
Welcome back. Pardon me. Anders Lindwall will be here at 7:05 talking about his film Green and Gold, and it's a Bar Band Friday night. Terry BARR pops by at 7:35. Always fun here on Nightlight on a Friday. Extra fun, if you will. I like to think, I don't know, Con. Don't you think we have fun here on Mondays too and Tuesdays?
The most fun on the Christmas Eve of weekdays.
Thursday, baby. That's what it's all about. Hey, we have a great guest on the phone right now with us. He is he's slumming it at a Four Seasons that has bad internet, and he's nice enough to give us a call anyway. James P. Connolly, California-based comedian who is hosting the Fox Valley Veterans Ball here on March 7th. He's a former Marine and a really funny guy. Check out James's work, and you can learn more about him if you're interested in going to the Veterans Ball on March 7th. There are still tickets, according to James, and VIP tickets. And you can check out, it's worth it to go just to see James alone. Check out his website, jamespconnolly.tv. And James, I want to ask you, you had a dry bar comedy special. Those are great. And, you know, if you like clean comedy, you know, I don't even think you can drop an S-bomb, right, on a dry bar?
Pete, you have no idea. There's clean comedy, and then there is Provo, Utah clean comedy, and they really break down the difference when you're there. So it is. I mean, if you work clean, it's great. But some of us who work clean, you still have to be conscious of certain things. So yeah, it was.
Wow.
But you know what? The audiences are so happy, and they're so excited, and they are just there for comedy. So the dry bar specials, it's just it's a pleasure to do them.
You know, I was going to ask you about that because the clip we played earlier, they're just such a great crowd. Are they like that when they go in there, just expecting to laugh? Like, do they enter with the right mindset, or do you have to win them over, or is it already kind of done given the environment?
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and credit myself. I'm that talented. That's what I brought out of those people. They were dead when I walked in there. The other
They were all sad.
It's me. It's what I do to people. It's, you know what, I say, it was my sparkling conversation, Pete, is what it was. It was a sparkling conversation.
Well, you must not have been over the internet.
But it's still, you know, you're a comedian. It's still, you got to go do it. And, you know, but they're waiting for you. And if you deliver, then they respond in kind. So it's really good.
That's great. You have on your website too a quote that says, "A comedian everyone can be, or comedy everyone can be a fan of." Is that because you're clean, or just pretty damn funny, James, or both?
Actually, you want the truth? It's just because the people at Dry Bar put that up there. So I guess that's them saying that everyone can enjoy my comedy. And the only people that can't is if they were listening to me earlier when I called you in with bad Wi-Fi. Then everyone cannot enjoy me because even I couldn't hear me.
Well, listen, it was even though the screen froze, it was nice to you got a nice face. You have a very welcoming and open face, and I think people would even just like to see that, James. And that's clean too, right?
Well, you know what, Pete? If you pay for a VIP ticket, you can stare at my clean, welcoming face. The Speakeasy Vault, March 7th, the Prohibition Ball, Fox Valley Veterans Council in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's just a matter of buying a VIP ticket, and you can stare directly into my clean, fresh, welcoming face.
If Tim Cody is listening, he has got to appreciate the plugs we are giving this thing. We're trying to pack the place.
I'm glad you do this too. I take great comedic joy in how many times I can drop things in a conversation if I have to plug. If you tell me, I almost got. I used to be a tour guide at Universal Studios, and they used to make us talk about the sponsor, Texaco. And they kept pushing it. And I decided to it bothered me, so I decided to rebel by dropping Texaco as many times as I could in that Universal Studios tour guide. And I would always refer to it as Texaco, star of the American Road. I would say that ad nauseum. And I thought I was being a smart aleck and rebelling. And then afterwards, I got a note from someone telling me what a wonderful tour guide was on there. He so committed, developed to pitching our brand, and I was like, I don't even rebel well. Texaco loved me.
Well done. I spent so much time at Universal's. I used to take my Universal. We lived like a mile and a half from there. I used to take my son there, and we would do the Terminator stuff, and they had a Simpsons ride. Like, when were you there? And my last question for you, James, was your military? You said you started 25 years ago. So when were you Universal? When were you doing stand-up? And did the military service interrupt your stand-up career?
Pete, I think that aging myself and providing you numbers doesn't really serve this conversation. But I'll tell you.
Fair enough.
No, I was in the Marines in late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, okay.
And so I went from being a Marine officer, veteran of Desert Storm, to a karaoke host, mobile disc jockey, and then became a Universal Studios tour guide. So while most people try to have careers that move upward, I tried to go the other way.
Well, you're doing a great job if you're in a Motel 6 and you're coming to Northeast Wisconsin. James, it's great to meet you. I wish you luck. Knock 'em dead on the 7th. I'm sure it's going to be a great event, and I'm sure you're going to crush. It's really great to meet you, and I hope we can do this again soon.
I would love to. Thank you so much for being patient with me, Pete. Thanks for having us on. And if you guys are out there, come on down. VIP tickets available, standard tickets available, March 7th at the venue in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Look at me. I can't stop myself. I keep dropping information and brands.
Plug-o-matic. The P in James P. Connolly stands for plug. So
it stands for plug-o-matic. I love it.
You're brilliant at it. Thank you, buddy. Have a great night, James.
All right. Thank you so much, Pete. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Check out jamespconnolly.tv. Check out his Dry Bar special on YouTube, and check out the Fox Valley Veterans Prohibition Ball on March 7th. Tickets still available. It's going to be a great night, and James is going to knock him dead. When we come back, director Anders Lindwall will be here, the director of Green and Gold, after Civic Media's award-winning news team keeps you informed. This is Pete Schwaba and Conrad riding shotgun on a Friday night nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Baby, I wanna taste your lips, I wanna be a fantasy, yeah. I don't know what I'd do without you, babe. I don't know where I'd be. You're not just another lover, no, you're everything to me. Every time I'm with you, baby, I can't believe it.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW. Earl Ingram.
It's Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show, and I have a fantastic guest ready to chat about the latest developments in both local and national news. Be sure to tune in and find out.
The Earl Ingram Show, weekday mornings at 9.
Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, and let me tell you, being a mom is tiresome, and you need a break. So take one at Mom Prom on Saturday, March 8th at the Hilton Paper Valley Hotel from 7 till 10 p.m. Grab those old prom dresses, homecoming dresses, heck, there's somebody with a pile of bridesmaid dresses somewhere, and have fun and let loose. You could even get named prom queen. It may be called Mom Prom, but it's open to all ladies 21 and over. So head to WGBW.FM, click events, and find out more.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A White House photo op that's usually routine devolved into a testy argument between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. On his way from the White House to Mar-a-Lago for an event, President Trump.
We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up as strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening.
President Trump and President Zelensky in a heated back and forth in the Oval Office about the prospect for peace in Ukraine.
Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
After reporters left the Oval Office, Zelensky was escorted to another room. President Trump huddled with his team and, according to a senior White House official, decided Zelensky had to leave and could come back when he was serious about a peace deal. That official said the Ukrainian president wanted to continue talks, but President Trump had made up his mind.
ABC's Karen Travers. This is ABC News.
Picture waking up to stunning waterfront views on Lake Michigan with private beach access right outside your door. Can you see it? Make it a reality and book a vacation rental in Door County, Wisconsin, and discover a world of natural beauty and relaxation. Explore charming small towns full of arts, shopping, and history. Head out for boating, kayaking, and hiking in scenic parks, or stop and sip local wines at Door County's best wineries and breweries. What kind of trip are you planning? Find your perfect Door County getaway today at simpleliferentals.com.
Community is more than where you live. It's the people in it who show up each day and help it thrive. During Black History Month and year-round, AARP recognizes the everyday excellence of those who give back to their Wisconsin communities. They believe when efforts drive change for the greater good, everyone thrives together. Connect and learn what AARP is doing locally and how they can make the communities better for all ages. Visit aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. As part of Governor Evers' 2025-27 biennial budget, he wants to increase the fees for fishing and hunting licenses in Wisconsin. Brittany Merlot tells us more.
Senate Bill 45 lays out the hunting, fishing, and trapping fees. A majority of the licenses and tags would increase by $10 to $20, including for small game, deer, fishing, and wild turkey. Some fees could increase by $40, including wolf harvesting, with a new fee of $88, and conservation patron has a new fee of $201. The last time license fees rose for residents was in 2005. However, in 2023, non-resident fees rose as a part of Governor Evers' 2024-25 budget. The DNR says that over the last 20 years, inflation has increased 59%, and costs of equipment and many items needed have jumped even more.
Over 75 attendees are expected to share personal stories on how they and the greater Fox Valley area will be impacted by Governor Tony Evers' proposed 2025-27 biennial budget. This will be at a budget listening session at the Appleton Public Library Monday at 11. Area lawmakers and Democratic...
The Bucks bury the Nuggets. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Denver Nuggets were coming off a recent 9-game winning streak, but the Bucks held them off 121-112. Milwaukee has now won 5 of their last 6. Bucks center Brook Lopez.
Yeah, I think it shows us who we are. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, but it shows the guys in the locker room what this team's capable of, who we are, and justifies the goals we have.
The Bucks outscored Denver for the first 5 minutes of the final period. Head coach Doc Rivers.
I thought our fourth quarter offense had pace tonight, 37 points in the fourth quarter, and we were just talking about us not scoring, and today we did it. So we know we can do it. We just can't lose our pace.
So the Bucks head to Dallas now to play the Mavericks tomorrow. College basketball, UWM with a win over Oakland at the Panther Arena in Milwaukee, 71-66. Marquette is at Georgetown, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Baseball, Brewers with a win in Arizona, 12-5 over the Kansas City Royals. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Breezy tonight and partly cloudy, colder, low teens. Sunny for the weekend, highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Mild to start next week with a chance of showers. Highs well into the 40s Monday, Tuesday. Currently 35 degrees.
When a parent sees their child smile, they see hope. Aleem hoped that his son Rajib would have an easier life than he had. You see, Rajib, just like his father, was born with a cleft. But thanks to Smile Train, both father and son received free, life-changing surgeries, transforming their smiles into symbols of hope. To learn more and support the Global Cleft community, visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
The Todd Alba Show.
Travie Olsen joins us.
There's a hockey game tomorrow night between Canada and the U.S. Everywhere up in Canada when they were playing the game, the U.S. was being booed. Imagine how you would feel if your neighbor were constantly saying, "I'm taking your backyard." You would find that very serious. That's what's happening around the world. We are going to have no friends, period.
That is
and
so
that
well put.
matters.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Maggie Dawn.
Have you heard Rojo and Van Orton deny that Republicans are trying to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security? I break down the numbers and call them liar, liar, pants on fire, starting at 2.
The Maggie Dawn. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who loves the sin but hates the sinner, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, well, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you with me on this Friday night as we broadcast statewide all over the great state of Wisconsin from beautiful downtown Green Bay at WGBW. Conrad is riding shotgun as usual. How's it going there, buddy?
Yeah, it's going good. It's windy. It's really windy outside.
In the studio? That's odd. Just stay warm, buddy. Our question of the night, ladies and gentlemen, is terms and conditions. Do you read them before you click the box? Most of the responses we've gotten have said if it's something big, they actually read them before clicking. If it's like Spectrum, a phone thing or something, I admit I don't read terms and conditions. I'm not reading 30 pages of small print before I click the box, but maybe I'll get in trouble for that. I don't know. But let me know what you think. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Great to have you with me. Terry BARR is coming up at 7:35. It is a bar band Friday night. We've got some great music on tap right now. I'm very excited to welcome my next guest, who was here about 5 or 6 weeks ago before his movie Green and Gold opened. With all this hype and anticipation, you probably remember Craig T. Nelson sang the national anthem at a Packer game. There was a lot of hype around the film, and the director joins us now. The writer, producer, director, Anders Lindwall, joins us over the phone. Anders, how are you?
Hey, yeah, nice to chat to you guys again. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet. Well, your film has been kept like now 4 weeks maybe in theaters. It's doing very well. I just saw it like a week and a half ago. Just a great job, buddy. And I wanted to talk to you about that and see where you were at now after all the hype it's not dying down, but you've gotten through that initial launch and it's doing very well. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like we try to I take this a little bit from professional athletes. It's like you try to tune out all the noise. Like you focus on what you can control, and that's
Okay.
like you make the product, you do your best to market it, and then you just put the earbuds in and try to get ready for the next one and the next thing on the path to distribution, all that kind of thing. So, I think we've always been really proud of it, and we've always known it performs well for just the general audiences, specifically in Midwest and
Right.
there are folks looking for more of just like a family film, feel good film. Like we know it does well from film festivals. That's where we kept winning. It's like not a critics movie. And so it has been affirming. I think that's like, I honestly didn't expect it to last in theaters anywhere near as long as it did. Like I thought maybe one more week after opening, we were guaranteed, I think 4 to 7 days.
Oh,
And
wow.
when it just like kept coming back and kept coming back, it was like, all right, it's wonderful. And I think that, kind of, it mostly bodes to word of mouth, like good word of mouth.
Right.
Because we certainly didn't have any marketing money to get that kind of ongoing momentum. So,
Well, you guys have
just
had
really thankful for it.
Yeah, you're being humble because you call it not a critic's darling or anything, but you got a certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm.
And when I saw it, there was a lot of people in the theater. So it seems like you're doing well in theaters, and you're doing certainly at least well enough with critics. I mean, you got to be thrilled. And the movie has so much heart. Have
Mm.
you had a chance to watch it with audiences in a theater?
Yeah. I've had a couple. It was funny. We did a few different film festivals. So right, we did one in Indianapolis for Heartland. Then we did one in Austin Film Festival. Austin Film Festival, and then the next time I watched it with a group was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it was crazy to hear the difference in. It was like we were talking the same inside jokes with each other, and that was really really special. Just to feel like a lot of the subtle comedy just like slapped at the right spots,
Right.
and yeah, so it has that's been honestly really special to do is to and because I'm a young director, I'm learning as we're doing this, and to kind of it's been special to be like, oh yeah, we wanted that to be funny, or we wanted that scene to be a little confusing, and you can tell just it's reading well with audiences, and
Yeah.
that's been just really affirming and
That's
exciting.
that's great. We okay, so when you were on the show last, I think Craig T. Nelson had just sung the national anthem. We talked about Brendan
Mm.
Sklenar being in the film and his star is on the rise, and
Yeah.
Culver's and all this kind of fun stuff. And lost in the shuffle for me, only because I didn't do my research enough, was this leading lady you have, Madison Lawler. It's
Yeah.
really almost her story. Like, she's kind of the connective tissue for a lot of the different subplots you have going on there. She was great.
Totally. Yeah, she's amazing. I felt like because we knew it's like when we got Craig first in casting, and we were like, okay, we know we've got like an anchor there, but it was like, shoot, now the other 50%, 60% of the story is this young girl, and she has to go eye to eye with Craig, and so we auditioned high and low, and we're really, really. I think that was maybe one of the biggest decisions I had to make as a director in the whole project was who this young woman is going to be. And we had some other folks who were a little bit more well known than her, who had been in just a few different things. But she grew up in South Dakota and moved to LA when she was 17, I think, or 16. Like, her folks shipped her to her aunt and uncle out there and said, if you want to do your Hollywood thing, do it. And so in a lot of ways,
Wow.
her journey embodied the journey of Jenny in the movie, the main character. And this person who grows up in a rural community and just like longing for something else, and it was really cool to see her connect with that in a and I think just as a person, just she said it caused her to rethink a lot of different things, after going
Yeah.
through it, the process of this. But she did. She's unbelievable. I can't wait to see kind of what happens to her career, and yeah.
That's really terrific, and she'll have you to thank, because I would assume this is going to be great tape, as they used to say, for her as an actress. My
Yeah.
guest is Anders Lindwall. He's director of Green and Gold, which you can catch probably still in theaters for another week, but who knows, maybe even longer. Do you guys have streaming information available yet, Anders? Like, do you know where it'll turn up when we can watch it at home?
Yeah, so we're in the process of developing all that. So that's all kind of contractually happening, but
Okay.
it will be coming up most likely in around April 1st if we can get things in order. But in kind of like the obvious places that you'd expect. So,
Right.
but yeah, right now we're kind of like riding out the theater train and then negotiating those deals, because a lot of those deals depends on how it performs theatrically. Um, so you're kind of that it's like
Right.
a push and pull, and we're like locking sort of as I'm on the call with you half the time. It's like it's right there. We're making these decisions. So
Well, if something breaks while we're on the phone, I would love it if we could be the ones to share that with the state of Wisconsin. So keep us posted there.
okay,
um,
sounds great.
so I love, what I really liked about the film is that you guys, you and your brother and whoever else contributed to the story, seem to have this affection or love for the earth and soil and
Mm.
nature. Where did that come from?
I think it came from growing up in the UP and right on the border there, with Wisconsin. It's like I was always out there in the natural world. Like I was just, I would go bow hunting after in middle school. I'd get home, throw my bow hunting gear on, and I'd head out to the stand until dark, and then come in, eat dinner, do my homework, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably where it started, and so I think that was a theme we were really excited to discuss, because it was just it's particularly with like spirituality, like tie that like the natural world with spirituality with the Green Bay Packers. Like what a cocktail that we want. Yeah, somebody called the film like a Packers mysticism film or something, which I really liked.
Oh, that's
funny. That's fun. I like that.
So
but
how do you?
just
Oh,
from
sorry. Go
growing
ahead.
up there. Oh, that
I was just going to ask you, like, from the first script you guys had, like, I think you said you started this process like 4 or 5 years ago. The pandemic happened, all that kind of stuff. To what you see on the screen now, how different are they?
Yeah, I mean, pretty different. I remember the first I had written probably, me and the writers, we were probably like 20 drafts in, and you're talking 100-page document, do it 20 times, and those are big rewrites. And I handed it to one of my friends who's he's a second unit director for a really well-known director named Terrence Malick. And
oh
I
wow,
was like, Andrew, what do you think of this? And he reads it and he's like, dude, you're on the right track. You're a 2 out of 10. And I was like, 2 out of 10? Oh man, how about a 4, maybe 5 out of 10, that kind of thing. But what's cool about that is he blew a lot of wind in my sails. Where I was like, okay, I'm at the start of a really long marathon here, and so we reiterated and iterated, and I think so I think a lot of like the circumstances changed around Jenny as a character. When do you start her story? That was kind of the biggest thing to figure out, right? But the soul of the thing was always there, and that didn't really change. Like,
That's
the
great.
log line of an old dairy farmer in Wisconsin trying to save his family farm from going under, brokered a deal with the bank to extend the life of the loan. That's been there forever, So
Okay. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
Do you guys have we have about maybe a minute left. Do you guys have another film lined up? Or are you going to go back and immerse yourself into commercials? Or are you anxious to get back and behind the camera on a feature film again?
Yeah, we'd love to get another one again. We have another story that we want to shoot. It's an 1800s lumberjack film that takes place up in northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan. And that was, my brother and I were chatting the other day. I was just like, what's been your favorite part of this journey? And he's like, I think being able to share like external people, like bringing people from the outside to a place that you love, and then with bringing, having the people that you love experience a really cool and unique project and be a part of it, like the farmers, that kind of thing. That's like a really fun recipe that we'd like to keep kind of playing in, and so yeah, hopefully we get a chance to make more. It's like that'll probably come down to streaming, how it performs in streaming, whether or not investors would go again. And,
oh man, that's so great.
Yeah.
Well, keep at it, buddy. Thank you for giving us an update, and keep up the great work. We'll be watching, and break a leg.
Hey, thanks again for having me. Appreciate all the help here.
You got it, Andrews. Have a great night. All right.
All right. Yeah. Cheers.
That is director Andrews Lindwall of Green and Gold. Check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, folks, it's in the theaters for another week at least. Coming up, Terry BARR in a few minutes. We'll do BARR Band Friday night. We'll read your text next. It's Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Ready? While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, You can help Mino and the mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Kerrigan Brothers Winery in Kaukauna, Stillmank Brewing Company in Green Bay, Old Station 31 Spirits in Dale, and Old Bavarian Brewing Company in Appleton. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.
Welcome back. Our question tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is terms and conditions. Do you read them before you click the box? Conrad and I both answered the question negatively. Somewhat. Some of the texts have said when it's a big deal, like a home purchase or a job, you read. And of course, but I'm talking about like cell phones, banking, cable companies, especially like a city service like WPS. They can't screw you over, right? They're like a municipal entity. So I never read that stuff. You know, the guy that comes out to read my meter is going to steal $1 million from me? I don't think so. You doubt that, huh? You never know, right? So let us know what you think. Do you read terms and conditions before you click the box, or do you just click the box? There are no right or wrong answers, folks. Just your answers. From the 608, this is a great text. I got to read this. This is from the 608. Hi, I'm a first-time listener on your radio station. Just a coincidence that I was listening to earlier shows on this channel. I'm glad I kept it as I'm heading home. Not sure if this text will go through. I tried calling a few times. Conrad, did we miss a call?
Well, you know how the phone is.
I know how the phone is. She got a hold of us though on the text. She says,
yes, she did.
On the question, if we read a terms that we receive, I don't. It would have concerned me receiving a 15 or 16 page document that you got from your bank. Wow. I think with that much reading, I would have just called them so they could give me the shorter version. Boy, that's a great idea. And record the call so you can stick it to them if they're screwing you over. I have a pretty good bank though. She says, or he says, I will make sure to listen to you both again. Have a fun night. Thank you very much, 608. 608 continues saying, my name is Eileen from Evansville, Wisconsin. I work in Cottage Grove and exercise in Madison. Wow. That's commitment. That's like a 20-mile drive, I think, to do the Stairmaster. Good for you, Eileen. She says, I'm not able to listen to you all here in Evansville. Lost you on the radio as I got home. I am trying to listen to it online. There you go. And Eileen, do that. Download the app if you haven't used it, because it's very easy to use. And you said you were listening to Civic Media shows earlier in the day. If you have the app, you can just take it with you. And there's an easy way to get a hold of us. You can call or text right off the app. If you live in spotty coverage radio area, it might be better to just go with the app. I know a lot of people that use the app like it a lot. So thank you for listening, though, and thank you for finding us. So that's our question of the night. If you want to chime in, folks, please do. So earlier in the show, I gave my predictions. I think Conclave, the Oscars take place Sunday night. I've seen 8 of the 10. I have 2 more to go. I will watch them before the Oscars. Conclave is my pick for Best Picture. I think Conclave is going to win. I think it has all the aspects that Oscar voters look for. It's got Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, Isabella Rossellini, John Lithgow. Great cast. It is well acted. It's a good story. And there is kind of a twist at the end. And I think that's going to resonate with people. And it won the Ensemble Award at the Screen Actors Guild Awards last week. And pictures that win that award tend to win the Best Picture award at the Oscars the next week or so after. 26 out of the last 30 years that's happened. So I think it's going to happen again Sunday. I think Conclave is going to win. I think Demi Moore is going to win for Substance, even though I thought the movie was just, I just did not like it. Conrad, you got to watch Substance.
The way you're talking about it,
I know.
I don't ever want to watch that.
I know.
Ever.
But you almost have to watch it for the carnage just to see how disgusting it is. But I do think Demi Moore will win. I think she's the odds-on favorite. I think this is one of those things where it's like a culmination of her career. People like her. They're going to vote for her. I think Timothée Chalamet will win Best Actor for A Complete Unknown, just because of what he did to prepare for the film, and he stuck with it for 5 years. It is a good story, and it's a good movie, but it's a good story about how he embraced the character and what he did as an actor to get there. I think Zoe Saldana, here's my Best Supporting Actor and Actress picks. I think Zoe Saldana is going to win for Emilia Perez. And if she doesn't, I think it will be an indictment of all the drama that surrounded that film off screen. The lead actress, they found tweets people thought were racist tweets against Middle Easterners. That was kind of a train wreck. And the film has 13 nominations. And I think there might be a backlash. Who knows? But I do think Zoe Saldana, I think people like her. I think she's going to win Best Actress. For Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, that is, I'm going to say Kieran Culkin. Yes, I'm making a safe choice because I think he's the favorite there. The movie A Real Pain was good. But he did do a good job. He's kind of doing the same thing he does on Succession. Very similar character, but he's very good in the movie. Jesse Eisenberg was very good in the movie. If he doesn't win, I think it'll be Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, because he was very likable in the film and he did a great job acting. Guy Pearce is also nominated in the Best Supporting Actor category, and I love Guy Pearce. I kind of hope he wins, even though I haven't seen The Brutalist yet. That's how much of a fan I am of Guy Pearce. And finally, in the Best Director category, I'm going to go with Sean Baker. I don't think Anora was the best film. Even of these, I wouldn't even put it like in the top 3 of these films that were nominated for Best Picture of the 10. It was a good film. I liked it. I just don't get the Best Picture nomination. But that's me. A lot of people liked it, and a lot of people love Sean Baker. I like Sean Baker a lot as a filmmaker. The Florida Project, I just watched like 6 weeks ago, and it's one of my favorite films ever. I think he's a really brilliant filmmaker. But I don't think Anora's going to win, but I think Sean Baker might win. We might do one of those things like we did with Mad Max Fury Road, where George Miller did not win Best Director. But I think that might not have won Best Picture. I'm going off memory here. Forgive me, folks. But I do think, I don't think Anora, it's kind of a lot of people are saying it's the favorite. I just don't see it winning. I could be wrong. But I do think Sean Baker might grab a Best Director, because I think the way everybody talks about Sean Baker and likes him, I think that's why Anora is even nominated in the first place. Because it's a good film, but I don't know. So I think they might throw him the bone of Best Director, but not the movie. And having said that, the movie could win too. Really, folks, I have no idea, but feel free to chime in. Text me and let me know what you think about the Oscars, which take place this Sunday night, March 2nd, 855-752-4842. Text us on the stream or on the app. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, our pal Terry BARR joins us for Bar Band Friday night. So glad you're here. It's Pete Schwaba and Night Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Solitaire. I can remember when I caught up with a pastime intimate friend. She said, but you're probably gonna say I look lovely, but you probably don't think nothing of me. She was right though, I can't lie. She's just one of those corners of my mind, and I just put it right back with the rest.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
WGBW has an e-newsletter that comes out twice a week, and it is filled with stories you care about from the greater Green Bay area. Subscribe today at wgbw.fm. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Layoffs are underway at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which includes the National Weather Service. Hundreds of employees have been let go by the Trump administration, with more layoffs expected throughout today. Some of the workers fired include computer engineers, meteorologists, and researchers, including those at the Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, Hurricane Research Division, Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, and a division that develops weather models for the United States. Attorney General Josh Kaul has announced that Wisconsin is joining another legal coalition of states, this time filling an amicus brief with the U.S. Supreme Court over Affordable Care Act protections. According to a press release, the coalition is asking the court to protect access to critical preventive care that millions of Americans receive through the ACA. A lower court previously found that the structure of the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force is unconstitutional, which could impact access to no-cost preventative care for low-income Americans. If you were planning on taking the ATV, UTV, or other motorized vehicle to the Marinette County trails, you might want to make other plans. County officials closed the recreational trail system to all motorized vehicles effective today. The closure is to protect the trail bed from damage caused during the spring thaw and breakup. The trails will reopen once conditions can support traffic without damage to the trail. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.fm.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If you weren't already aware, there will be a Shrek 5, and it will have a fresh-faced new star in the cast, according to Deadline.com. Zendaya will join the cast as Shrek's daughter. If you're scoring at home, that means she will play the offspring of Mike Myers and Cameron Diaz. Eddie Murphy will also be back as Donkey. Shrek 5 will be the first film in the franchise to hit theaters since 2010's Shrek Forever. The fifth installment is expected to grace our screens Christmas of 2026. The death of Gene Hackman will most likely be talked about for weeks to come in the entertainment business. Hackman and his wife Betsy were found dead in their New Mexico home Wednesday. Hackman quietly retired from acting in 2004 after appearing in the film Welcome to Mooseport. In a 2009 interview with Empire magazine regarding his retirement, Hackman revealed that the straw that broke the camel's back was his doctor telling him his heart could no longer handle excessive stress. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Breezy tonight and partly cloudy, colder, low teens. Sunny for the weekend, highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Mild to start next week with a chance of showers. Highs well into the 40s Monday, Tuesday. Right now it's 33.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. Governor Tony Evers has released his budget, calling this the most pro-kid budget in state history. This is now the fourth time that Evers has put forth a budget proposal, and the three prior were all met with a similar fate. Republicans in the legislature rejected it entirely. Again this year, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos called the budget dead on arrival. To a certain extent, this is what we've come to expect from this era of divided government in Wisconsin. In previous years, Evers has eventually signed Republican-authored budgets and used his line-item veto powers to make certain changes. But could he play hardball this time around and threaten to veto the entire budget? Is there anything in this pro-kid budget that has to be there? Things like education funding, or clean water protections, or Medicaid expansion. With everything going on in Washington, now might be the right time for Evers to fight for these proposals and fight for Wisconsinites in any way he can.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
Monday, starting at 6, we get the week's forecast from Brittany Merlot and longtime legendary.
Time to check out original music with BARR Band Friday on Nightlight. Now, your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Terry BARR.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is a BARR Band Friday night, my favorite night of the week here at Nightlight, where we welcome our friend, Terry BARR, Max Inc. radio host. And she's as much fun to talk music with as she is just to talk about anything with. And that's why she's so much fun on the show, whether she has MP3 files or not. Terry, welcome. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I am good, good, good. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. Did you have a good week?
It's been a long week for some reason.
Right. Well, for
Yeah.
what you do with all your duties, with everything going on in the news, I can't even imagine how you get through the week. So I'm just glad you're here.
I look forward to this, Pete.
Same.
This is relaxation to me. This is fun. And just being able to chat music and entertainment with a fellow entertainment guru is amazing.
Yes, that's what connects us, my friend. It's great to have you here. So let me ask you this. Are you ready for the Oscars?
Whew. And there were movies that are up for Oscars that I haven't seen, and I really wanted to, but my two favorite movies this year, not in the run for an Oscar, they were the two sports movies out of Wisconsin and about Wisconsin,
Green and Gold.
Yes, and Just
And
a Bit Outside.
yeah,
Those
Just a
are
Bit
my
Outside.
two favorite movies this year, and I could watch those over and over again.
Wow. Well, that's whatever makes you happy. That's great. I did
I
not see
know. Okay,
Just a
so
Bit
who are you
Outside.
picking? Do you have big picks?
I think Conclave is going to win Best Picture.
Oh, yeah, that's on my
Yeah.
list to see. Mhm.
It's good. It wasn't my favorite of them, but I could easily see it winning. It was a really good movie. I think Demi Moore will win. I think Timothy Chalamet will win. I think Zoe Saldana will win. And I think
Ooh.
Kieran Culkin will win. And I think Sean Baker is going to win Best Director. So there you go.
Oh,
Who knows?
wow.
I don't know
Okay.
anything more than anyone else. I'm just a fan, but those are my dime store picks, if you will.
And have you had time to see all of those?
I have not seen The Brutalist or I'm Still Here. Where I
Okay.
live, it's a little remote. I don't think The Brutalist ever made it here.
Ooh.
And it's such a long film. I have to literally start watching it right after the show if I want to finish it in time for the Oscars. So, but I'm excited to see it. I have to see that, and I'm Still Here, and I'll try to see them both before Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be
What
fun.
I love, some of I'm in Madison, so some of the
Yeah.
theaters in Madison are doing a buy a ticket, and over an entire weekend, last weekend and this weekend, you could see 4, 5, 6 different movies, but
Yeah,
you'd
it's
be
really cool.
bouncing between theaters. So it would take an entire day, or you could split it for the weekend to go see all the movies. I thought that was really a great idea.
That's a great idea, and I love
Mhm.
doing that. And I would do that, like, just because I get on these jags where I want to see 3 or 4 movies in a day. Honest to God. And when my wife and I, when we first moved to LA before we had kids, we would go to like Universal Studios Theater where they
Oh.
had like 25 movies playing, and we would just go in one. Then when that ended, we would just go in the other. We'd only pay for one movie. We didn't have that much money, but yeah, it was fun. It's you're just
Yeah.
kind of movie hopping. It's such a great thing to do. So
I know, and when you do go to the theater today, there's still something about it.
yeah, for sure. We just
Yeah.
had Anders Lindwall on, who is the director of Green and Gold. I don't know if you heard any of that, but he was on. Just we were kind of following up with him how he feels
Yes.
after his great little theatrical run they just had. So that was fun.
What I loved about that? You went into the theater, and of course, you get all the usual but
Right.
before the movie started, they shared all the backstory. They had
Yeah.
interviews with Anders and then also with one of the writers, and just explaining why this movie was so important and why they kept it in Wisconsin.
I love when filmmakers do that. I didn't know
Me too.
that was going to be part of the deal. So I went with my mom and my wife, and we got there right at the tail end of him talking. I was like, oh, if I had known that, I would
Oh.
have gotten there. But I'll see it
Yeah.
next time. Hey,
Yeah.
let's get to
Oh,
some
I know.
music.
We'll all go see it again, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get to the music that you brought. This is like, sometimes we're just spoiled for choice. You sent 2 songs by each artist who are both going to be on Max Inc. tomorrow night, which I think is great. I couldn't even really, it was hard to pick one song from each.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Robert J.
Okay.
He is a longtime artist in the Midwest, now based once again in Madison. He's moved around the country. So he's one of these musicians where he's played almost everywhere, but we
Yeah.
are so happy to have him back in Madison. And he is right now, the poor guy had to have hand surgery, and
Oh,
he
no.
plays guitar. He plays a lot
Oh.
of solo acoustic shows.
Yeah.
But luckily, he has a great band that can back him too. But he's really hoping, his entire summer is booked all over the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah. And I
Wow.
love he calls himself a troubadour. Who says that anymore?
It's so funny you just said that, because I have pictures up. He has like this kind of slideshow on his website. He's got a great look. And that, like, the first picture that comes up, it's like this kind of faded photo of him against backlight, looking like he's just playing a club. The first thing that came to my mind was he's a troubadour. That's so cool.
Oh, that's perfect. It's so
Yeah.
funny. He played for us, and I bring this up sometimes, at a different life for me at a different radio station. His guitar was busted. You know, the guitar you see and the usual sound hole, it
Yeah.
was busted out all around it. And he said, I
Huh.
don't want to get rid of it because it sounds so good to me.
Oh,
And he
that's
still
so great.
plays that guitar. It's
Wow.
crazy that he can make it sound so good.
He was, in the research I did, which was not a
Yeah.
ton, because you sent some information, which was interesting, but he was the artist of the year, I think, in Wisconsin in like
Oh, yes.
2003. That's kind of
Mhm.
cool. And he's
Oh,
got all
yeah.
these slew of awards.
He's so humble about it. And I tease him because I said, he's one of these guys you're going to want to see him on stage for ages. He's aging so gracefully. And I said to him, handsomely. And he's like, oh, stop. But he is also, because of his own experience, he had a child that got really ill after Christmas. I think he said it was probably 11 years ago. And if not for the help of specifically the Madison Area Music Awards, he thinks they would not have been able to pay any of the medical bills. And
Oh, wow.
he, as a musician full time, and you know this as an artist, he didn't have insurance. Luckily, his wife had a good job, but it still didn't pay the bills. So he got help from the Mama organization. And when they got through it, he came out of it saying, I need to pay this forward. So he started what is now a part of the Madison Area Music Association. It's called Mama Cares. And it is specifically meant to help any type of artist, comedians, musicians, anyone that needs help, whether it's medical or if you're in a family crisis or you just can't pay your electric bill. That's what this is for. They have so far been able to help other people after raising like $120,000.
Wow, nice. Oh, that's inspiring. That's so great.
I love it. And the 10th anniversary is coming up. And so that's part of why he's on the show tomorrow night, to talk about it and to talk about why it's so important that everybody help each other. I mean, that's the bottom line for him. Why can't we all just be kind to each other?
I know that you're asking the wrong guy, because I don't really like anybody. So, all right, let's hear.
Like my cats.
I'm a cat personified. Let's hear the male vocalist of the year for 2003. This is Robert J. and the song. I had it written down, the March song. That's the one we're going to play, Con.
The saddest march of all.
I love, love, love this song. This is Robert J. on a Bar Band Friday night with Terry BARR here on Nightlight.
up on TP, cause it just hit the fan. Canceling our activities, remember to wash your hands. No school, no shows, no sports, no more basketball. We're marching into madness, the saddest march of all. No elbow bumps, no fist bumps, just social distancing. Sanitizers and face masks, travel bans and quarantine. No work, no gigs, no tips, no checks, no basketball. We're marching into madness, the saddest march of all. It's times like these we all just got to come together. Reach out and stay connected, try to help one another. So my friend, if you're running low, I could spare a couple rows. I'll leave them out on the front porch, just drive by, grab them and go. Yeah, but keep your distance, yeah. Poor souls who are dying, friends are losing businesses, families are crying. No school, no shows, no sports, no more basketball. Marching in a madness, the saddest march of all. No Disneyland, no Broadway, no MLB. Just staying at home and laying low for the good of society. No school, no shows, no sports, no more basketball. We're marching into madness, saddest march of all. Oh, yeah, we're marching into madness, yeah, saddest march of all. Keep your distance, so keep your distance. Keep your distance, keep your distance, babe. Keep your distance, the saddest march of all. Keep your distance, keep your distance, keep your distance, keep your distance, the saddest march of all. Keep your distance.
That feels like when I was doing stand-up in Chicago in the 90s, we'd wander over to Kingston Mines or Blues Etc. occasionally. And it's like could hear him there. Like he's got a great voice and a good blues voice.
And obviously,
That's
we know the song is about March of 2020. Whoo! And it's
the
fun
saddest
to
part.
listen to now, and I'm happy we are no
Yeah.
longer there. Ugh.
Same. No, great song though. And
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be a great interview tomorrow night. All right. So tell us about, am I saying this right? Sawasco?
Yeah, you
Laura
got it.
Sawasco. Look at me. Tell us about Laura Sawasco, who will also be on Max Inc. tomorrow night.
Yeah, she is gonna be by phone from
Okay.
Nashville
Nice.
because, half of the year she's in Nashville.
Okay.
The other half of the year, she works at her family's restaurant in Washington, or I should say on Washington Island. And of course,
Really?
we all know 5 miles from the northeast tip of the Door Peninsula of Door
Yeah.
County.
Wow.
She goes, I know. Can you imagine? She goes home then half of the year to help out the family. She plays some tunes there.
Yeah.
But she's making a name for herself in Nashville. She's played places that we've heard of, like the Bluebird Cafe. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys, or I don't know if it was you or her website where I saw this, but she's a quadruple threat. She can sing, play piano, guitar, and she's beautiful. And all of four of those are true. All right, we have to do a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear the song Home from Laura Sawasco, who is a Door County resident, it sounds like, too. We can tap into that as well. Terry BARR is here. It's a Bar Band Friday night. We're coming right back on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I gotta get away, I don't know where to go.
7.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
Community is more than where you live. It's the people in it who show up each day and help it thrive. During Black History Month and year-round, AARP recognizes the everyday excellence of those who give back to their Wisconsin communities. They believe when efforts drive change for the greater good, everyone thrives together. Connect and learn what AARP is doing locally and how they can make the communities better for all ages. Visit aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease. Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the CDC.
The Todd Alba Show.
Elon Musk putting in so much money that it drowns out other people's voices to decide who our next Supreme Court justice is. Whether or not you're going to vote Republican or Democrat or Schimmel or Crawford, your voice is getting drowned out by Elon Musk, a guy who has no business in Wisconsin. And you don't think that Brad Schimmel is going to be in Elon Musk's pocket? It's going to affect us in Wisconsin.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding, just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in this.
Monday nights on Nightlight, Milwaukee film critic Matt Miller will be on the show. We will break down the Oscars together, and the chair of the musical theater department at UW Stevens Point, Mark Hansen, will be joining me at 7:35 on Monday. Right now, we are in the throes of another Bar Band Friday night with our pal Terry BARR, Max Inc. radio host. Always fun when Terry is here. Terry, you'll get a kick out of this. This is a text from our steady Eddie. He's a regular. He says, Pete, I've never read terms and conditions. I try, but I can't do it. Makes my head hurt. Big business has got me right where they want you and me and almost everyone. Though there is good news. There is good news, Pete, on this Friday night Nightlight. Tomorrow, March 1st, is the start of meteorological spring. Yay. FYI, this year, astronomical spring begins at 4:01 a.m. Central Time on March 20th. I have already seen a couple of robins and heard singing cardinals. Hopeful signs. I concede I am no meteorologist like Brittany Merlot. She knows her weather highs and her weather lows. I would listen to Brittany read the phone book. She expresses the forecast with heart and soul. Maybe explain to young Conrad what a phone book is.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's funny.
I know what a phone book is. All right, Steady Eddie.
He's sitting on one, Steady Eddie. I'm kidding. He says, hopeful, steady, but still keeping my snow shovel at the ready. Eddie. Well done, Eddie. That was fantastic.
Wow. That's a
like
winner.
Serious effort goes into that text. Very well said. Thank you, Steady.
Man, way to go, Steady Eddie.
Absolutely. All right, so we're talking about Laura Sawasco. She's a part-time resident of Nashville, part-time of Washington Island, which I think is really cool. Why don't we play her song, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about her, also on Max Inc. Radio tomorrow night, which is pretty cool. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So here's Laura Sawasco. The song is Home, and it's great.
Fields haven't changed,
since I was just a kid. It's when we played baseball and I had my first kiss. Change is overrated, there's so much that I would miss when you live amidst memories like this. The sky is colored by the dancing northern lights. A billion stars can light up even the darkest Midwest night. Looking up with friends, drinking a six-pack of beer. We wonder what is going on up there. And it's not fancy, it's not fake, and it's give and it's not take. It's a place where everybody knows your name. And there's no stoplights, there's no crime, 3 bars to drink on a Friday night. Well, it's growing old with the people that you know. No, it ain't for everyone, but for me it's home. We know each other by the car that we drive. Going nowhere fast down every road on a tank of gas. No reason to lock our doors, no reason to look for more. If you got a question, that's what the Bible's for. And it's not fancy, it's not fake, and it's give and it's not take. It's a place where everybody knows your name. And there's no stoplights, there's no crime, 3 bars to drink on a Friday night. Well, it's growing old with the people that you know. No, it ain't for everyone, but for me it's home. You can take your city lights, your concrete jungle paradise. You can look down at your patch of grass from your overpriced high-rise. I'll be skipping those smooth stones with the ones that I know. No, it ain't for everyone. No, it ain't for everyone. For me, it's home.
That is a beautiful song.
Pete, I feel like this one hit you.
It did. It's great. And listen, I am a big city guy, but I love that song. And the way the lyrics just roll, she's really, really a talented songwriter.
Yeah. I feel like we should go visit her when she's home.
Yeah.
Washington Island this summer. We should go see her.
Oh my gosh. Let's do it. Let's get a little group and go see her. Does she perform up there, did you say?
Yes.
Oh
She
my
works
gosh.
at her family's restaurant and also performs.
I would wait tables just to hear her sing.
I would too. Let's do it.
Conrad, you could be the bar back. We'll get this thing going.
We got it.
If
Believe
she
it or
ever
not, though,
plays,
Pete, this is her 6th album. And
really?
right now, this song we heard, it's the first listen to any of the songs from her brand new album. So here we go. It was a premiere.
Fantastic. Well, if she or Robert J are ever up in this area, I would love to have them on the show. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Thank you so much, Terry. I love her song about college days too, and I can listen to that later. So I have it in my iTunes now. So thank you so much, my friend. Happy Bar Band Friday night. And
Absolutely. Same to you and all the listeners. Have a great weekend.
thanks so much, Terry. Have a great show tomorrow night. That's Terry Barr. And this was Bar Band Friday night. It was great to have you guys with us. My thanks to Anders Lindwall and James P. Connolly. Go check out the Veterans event. And thank you for all your texts and calls. Good night, Wisconsin.
Take me to your best friend's house. Marmalade, we're making out. Oh.